Welcome everyone to Coin New Yen Review channel. Before we dive into today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so more people can discover us. Enjoy the show. I noticed my CEO girlfriend suddenly realized something. I had seen him with his white moonlight. After holding the engagement banquet, I reeking of poverty from head to toe. My furious boyfriend. I hadn't bothered him for 3 months. He hadn't even seen me at the company. He curiously asked his assistant where Ifang Yuan was. I hadn't been coming to work lately. The assistant's eyes flashed with surprise as he said, "Mr. Liu, you didn't know? Ever since Ifang Yuan caused a scene at your engagement banquet, after being thrown out by the bodyguards, I was too ashamed to show up at work. I had resigned long ago. I heard not long ago, my sister passed away due to heart disease. Truly evil people get their just desserts." Liu Ryan's face instantly turned pale. He hadn't expected that on the day of the engagement banquet, I had come to him for help because of my sister's illness, not to deliberately ruin his event. Liu Ryan came from a wealthy family. In 7 years of dating, she never gave me a single gift. After agreeing to the proposal, she returned the diamond ring I bought. When getting the marriage certificate, she said the 99 yuan fee was too expensive and called it off. Yet she turned around and got married to her childhood friend. She even booked the city's largest 5-star hotel to hold an engagement banquet. My sister, who had just undergone a heart transplant, couldn't handle the shock. I knelt before the earth in desperation. Liu Ryan returned the wages I had handed over for years to cover my sister's medical expenses. Yet she clung to her first love's arm, pretending not to know me, saying she wasn't a charity tycoon, so she sent bodyguards to throw me out. Later, I watched helplessly as my sister died. Amid the firecrackers of New Year's Eve, I handled her affairs alone and accepted an offer from a major company that extended an olive branch. When I was invited to retrieve my passport from home, Liu Ryan thought I was playing hard to get. She unprecedentedly said generously, "Don't pretend your sister's fine. At worst, it'll throw you a wedding." To let him shine for once, I gave a self-mocking smile. To him, I was merely a toy not worth showing off. I pried his hand off. His cold hand clung to me again, brushing my cheek. He grinned, saying, "Ouch." Those bodyguards were too rough. They scratched up my handsome face. It'll dock their wages completely. In the past, no matter how angry I was, his relentless pestering would always make me forgive him. Not this time. 7 days ago at the engagement banquet, when Liu Ryan ordered the bodyguards to throw me out, they didn't forget to beat me up. A toad lusting after a swan. Young Master He and Miss Liu are a perfect match. "You're nothing." Passers-by pointed and mocked me, ridiculing me for having hands and feet, yet begging like a pauper. Begging a girl for money. I had long lost all face. Seeing I was still upset, Liu Ryan finally used her trump card. She pulled out a pink butterfly hair clip, waved it at me. "It's for Yu. Don't use her surgery to trick me again. To get my attention. That's pointless. Yu, my sister who depended on me. She suffered from congenital heart disease. A few days ago, she underwent a heart transplant. She said she wanted to see Liu Ryan and me get married, to offer her blessings right away. She saw Liu Ryan marry another man and collapsed on the spot. The doctor told me it would take only 100,000 yuan for the surgery, and Yu would have a chance to live. On New Year's Eve, I begged everyone to lend me money, but my calls were rejected outright, or I was scolded for being shameless. Amid the firecrackers, 13-year-old Yu passed away in the bloom of youth, leaving me alone. Thinking of Yu's pale face, my heart felt as if stabbed by a knife. I didn't take the butterfly hair clip Liu Ryan offered. I coldly told Liu Ryan. Before I could say let's break up, Liu Ryan interrupted me, saying, "Enough. You and Yu must be tight on money this new year. Your funds must be low." She casually transferred 200 yuan to me. "This money is for Yu's supplements. No need for an IOU. It's laughable." She feared I was after her money, made me hand over my salary, and gave me pocket money only after her approval. Every time she transferred money, she demanded an IOU. In 7 years of dating, I owed Liu Ryan a mountain of debt. I used to think it was because her family ran a company, and she was sensitive about money. I indulged her demands, but her frugality was only toward me. She could spend thousands on a luxury car for He Kong, or buy him a villa without batting an eye, each time making headlines. Where the money was, there her love went. Coming back to my senses, I immediately returned the 200 yuan, coldly saying no need. Liu Ryan finally looked at me seriously, as if realizing something. She sighed, "Is it too little? I'll agree to hold a wedding with you, okay? To let your sister feel proud too. You siblings are so alike." The word vain stung my ears. Yet I had endured it for 7 years. I just wanted to enjoy normal couple moments, exchanging gifts and going shopping together. But she accused me of being vain and comparing myself to others, saying the money I gave her family didn't need to be spent on a wedding. We're not even married. Liu Ryan's refined face collapsed completely, showing the familiar angry expression. At that moment, the door was knocked on. Liu Ryan glared at me and turned to open the door. The next second, I heard her excited voice. "Why are you here?" I tilted my head and saw He Kong at the door, wearing a matching down jacket with Liu Ryan. He raised his hand, fondly ruffling Liu Ryan's hair like an old friend. "Little princess, my friends came today. They want to see what their sister-in-law looks like. Will you spend the day with me?" Looking past Liu Ryan, he glanced at me, deliberately provoking Fang Yuan. "You won't be mad, right? You didn't get mad the other day either." As he spoke, he deliberately interlocked fingers with Liu Ryan, showing off their matching wedding rings. Liu Ryan's eyes sparkled. She quickly agreed. "Why would I be mad? Don't worry, I'll definitely give you face." With that, Liu Ryan grabbed her bag and turned to leave. After taking 2 steps, she seemed to remember something, let go of He Kyung's hand, came forward, cupped my face, and kissed the corner of my lips. "Don't worry, this is the last time. I'll be with you every day from now on." But Liu Ryan, we had no future. I forcefully wiped my lips, watching them leave laughing and teasing each other. Then I turned and picked up the resignation letter I had prepared long ago. On the 7th day of the Lunar New Year, my colleagues had returned to work. Seeing me arrive late, they knowingly covered their mouths and snickered. Fang Yuan actually came to the company. He's desperate for money, causing a scene at Mr. Liu's engagement, kneeling to beg Mr. Liu for money. He has no shame. This guy usually acts all high and mighty, thinking he's something because he dated Mr. Liu for 7 or 8 years. Even my dog doesn't beg as shamelessly as he does. I ignored their mockery and walked into the HR office without changing my expression. The HR staff curled their lips, coldly saying, "We've already submitted your application. Once Mr. Liu approves it, you can pack up and leave. We won't compensate you in your case." I nodded, saying nothing, and left the company as the sun set in the west. Just after the new year, the streets were filled with couples or families. While I walked alone, an overwhelming sense of loneliness flooded my heart. My only family, my hard-earned career, and my love were all gone. I slowly walked along the path I'd taken for 7 years. Between home and the company, memories surged into my mind. In my first year of high school, my parents died in a car accident. The compensation was divided up by cruel relatives, leaving me and my newborn sister to depend on each other. Later, when my 6-year-old sister met Liu Ryan, who was volunteering at the hospital, she treated her like a big sister. From then on, Liu Ryan and I crossed paths. Back then, I was just a college student, working multiple jobs to make ends meet. Liu Ryan volunteered to care for my sister, often sending me updates about her. Whenever I saw my sister's condition worsen, it was Liu Ryan who held me as I broke down, comforting me, saying she'd stay by my side forever, never leaving me. Back then, she truly loved me. She wanted to be with me every day, even when I wore plain clothes. She'd hold my hand tightly, proudly introducing me to everyone. "Isn't my boyfriend handsome? He's the most perfect boyfriend in the world." But gradually, she began looking at me with suspicion. Fearing I was after her family's wealth, she made me hand over all my wages for her to control. Later her control grew stronger. Even when I asked for 5 yuan to buy cigarettes, she'd be paranoid. Until 3 months ago, when He Kong returned to the country, she excitedly bought him a luxury car and spent millions to display 7 words on the city's big screens. Welcome back, He Kong. That was the first night she didn't come home. I went looking for her with the police, only to find her drunk, clinging to He Kyung's hand, acting coy when I was 5. You put a red veil on my head and said you'd marry me. Why doesn't that count? I stood frozen, chilled from head to toe until she sobered up, and we had a huge fight, arguing over who truly held her heart. But she said I was overthinking, asking questions I already knew the answers to. If it weren't for He Kong, she wouldn't even have crossed paths with me. Until He Kong posted on social media about wanting to get married. That day Liu Ryan took the initiative to end our Cold War, asking if I was willing to marry her. I was overjoyed, thinking she had finally chosen me, and knelt to propose. This absurd relationship was finally coming to an end. Looking back, I realized I had walked so far. The noisy voices reached my ears. Sister-in-law, you can't back out of truth or dare. Our brother, he is getting impatient. At the KTV entrance nearby, Liu Ryan was surrounded by a crowd, shouting with her eyes closed, I Liu Ryan, for love He Kong. She shouted 3 times, her voice growing louder and more resolute, drawing the attention of passers-by on the street. Then she shyly buried herself in He Kyung's arms. He Kong naturally held her close. The crowd cheered. The mood's perfect now. You two should just kiss. Liu Ryan froze for a moment. He Kong quickly smoothed things over. Don't go too far. Our sister-in-law is shy. Before he finished, Liu Ryan tugged his tie and kissed him, pulling back quickly. Liu Ryan didn't close her eyes, gazing deeply into He Kyung's eyes, as if to etch the moment into her heart, filled with happiness and contentment. As if that single kiss was enough, the next second fearing He Kong might misunderstand, she blushed and stammered, I lost my balance earlier. Before He Kong could respond, she hurriedly said, it's getting late. Time to go home for dinner. My mom's going to nag me. Love is a hand that wants to touch but pulls back. This excessive caution already explained everything. She and I were only a dozen meters apart. The cold wind blew against me, scraping my already shattered heart into dust once more. Liu Ryan hurried along with her head down and bumped right into me. She looked up, saw my face. Her pupils contracted as she apologized, but I cut her off. It's fine. Then I turned and walked away, opened my phone to book a ride. Behind me, I heard the crowd's confused questions. That guy looks familiar. Ryan, isn't he the beggar who knelt at your engagement, asking you for money? He didn't just steal from you, did he? Check your things. To all these slanders against me, Liu Ryan always tacitly agreed. Back home, I took out my phone to pay for the ride. A notification popped up on the ticketing app. Your flight from Haeshi to Houston has been successfully booked. It departs tomorrow at 3 p.m. Please plan accordingly. I sent a screenshot to the overseas company I was coordinating with. Before I could speak, H2 excitedly said, I've been eagerly awaiting you. Well, welcome you with a grand prize tomorrow. My expression softened. I picked up my already packed luggage and headed out, not wanting to stay in this house a second longer. But I ran straight into Liu Ryan. She frowned and slammed the door. Fang Yuan, where are you going? He Kong following her feigned concern. Fang Yuan, don't misunderstand. Ryan was just acting to protect my reputation. Don't fight with her over me and run away from home. I couldn't be bothered to listen and said flatly, Liu Ryan, let's break up. Liu Ryan was about to scold me, but froze for a second at my words. Then her eyes widened, and she said in disbelief, break up? Just because I played along with He Kong for a bit. You're making a fuss about breaking up. Fang Yuan, do you still want a wedding? In her mind, she probably thought I was crazy in love with her, even using a wedding to threaten me. In the past, I would have begged her to stay with me forever. Now I only gave a mocking smile. Liu Ryan, you and I are done. What wedding? Done? Liu Ryan's face flushed with anger. A month ago, When you proposed to me, you didn't say that. You said you'd protect me forever. You even bought me a diamond ring. As she spoke, she started rummaging through her bag, trying to find the ring to throw it in my face. I said calmly, "No need to look. That ring. You sold it to a pawn shop for 1,200 yuan, then bought Hikong a tie as a date gift. In 7 years of dating, all the gifts I scrimped and saved to buy Liu Ryan were mostly sold off secondhand. She said those gifts were too cheap to show off, and told me not to be mad since I had her. Before I found her shrewdness cute. Now it disgusted me. She simply didn't care about my love." Liu Ryan's chest heaved violently. Her gaze swept around the house, muttering, "No ring. There's still the stuff you bought me." She couldn't continue. Her face looked grim, because she realized, in this house, she couldn't find a single thing to prove we were a couple. He Kong gloated, stirring the pot. "Alright, Feng Yuan, stop making a fuss. You eat and live off Ryan. You should be more understanding and help Ryan out. She's at a critical moment taking over the company. Don't cause trouble." He shouldn't have said anything, but his words gave Liu Ryan confidence, and she sneered coldly. "He Keong's right. Feng Yuan, can't you see the bigger picture? Once I take over the company, I can buy you anything. Put down your luggage now, or don't blame me for cutting off your living expenses." I let go of my suitcase and pulled out a box of IOS. I said calmly, "Liu Ryan, for 7 years, you gave me 200 yuan a month for living expenses. For other expenses, you made me write 500 IOS, totaling to 0,000 yuan. Yuya's surgery and treatment costs 300,000 yuan. I entrusted my salary card to you. 7 years of wages, at least 1 million. Now please return the remaining 6,800,000. Liu Ryan angrily knocked over the box in my hands. Countless IOS fluttered down like snowflakes. "Feng Yuan, we've been together for 7 years. And in your heart, I'm worth less than a few 100,000. You want to scam me?" The disdain and contempt in Liu Ryan's tone made my voice hoarse. "Liu Ryan, this money is my hard-earned labor." But she exploded instantly. Her complaints burst out, "Money, money, money. Feng Yuan, is there anything in your heart besides money? Why can't you be like He Kong, free from greed for fame or profit? He never asked me for anything. My mom was right. Dating a poor person like you is a waste of effort. We're not even in the same class. Your hard-earned labor. Are you kidding me? Without me, you'd be starving in the streets. This is all the salary I paid you." I gave a self-mocking smile. He Kong doesn't fight or grab because he has everything. He just stands there doing nothing, and Liu Ryan will give him all the best things. I offered my true heart with both hands. Seeing my silence, Liu Ryan said forcefully, "All right, Feng Yuan, you can take your salary card back. I won't manage it for you anymore." Liu Ryan hurled the bank card at my face. The card grazed my cheekbone. I wiped my hand across it. My palm came away covered in red. Liu Ryan panicked instantly. She reached out to touch my cheek. She asked softly, "Feng Yuan, are you okay?" I gave a self-mocking smile. I raised my hand to block hers, looking at the panic in her eyes. I said calmly, "Liu Ryan, has the game of a rich heiress playing house with a commoner grown tiresome. But I'm done playing. I no longer want to continue." I picked up the bank card, stood, and grabbed my suitcase. Then I stepped forward, treading over the IOS that were the last proof of my connection to Liu Ryan. Stepping over them, Liu Ryan seemed dazed. Seeing my hand on the doorknob, she snapped awake and blocked me. "Feng Yuan, don't be angry. Quarrels are like this." I spoke carelessly. I twisted the doorknob and left, without looking back. At the hotel front desk, I pulled out my salary card to pay, but the staff informed me the balance was insufficient. Expressing their apologies, I pulled out the 20,000 yuan travel allowance from the overseas company, paid, tossed my luggage into the hotel. I checked my bank transactions, only to find my card had long been drained. The records showed purchases at couples restaurants, couples suites, men's clothing stores. Liu Ryan had never spent on couples activities with me, nor given me any clothes. It was obvious who she spent it on. HR sent me a message Fang Yuan. If you're in a hurry, go to Mr. Liu tomorrow morning to sign off. I replied with a simple okay, and slept well that night. The next morning, I passed by the HR office and saw Yu Ryan's graceful figure. HR was busy processing He Kyung's onboarding, saying Mr. Liu is so good to you. You two are perfect together. He Kyung looked smug. A vice president's badge hung prominently on his chest. Ryan, you're making me a vice president out of nowhere. Want people say I got in through connections. I remember Fang Yuan was with you for 7 years, and he's still just a team leader. Liu Ryan brushed it off. Adjusting He Kyung's cuffs, you're my husband. Who dares to gossip? Or are you unwilling to rely on my connections? They looked like a loving newlywed couple. Since I ran into Liu Ryan, it saved me a trip. I handed her my resignation letter. Mr. Liu, please sign this. Liu Ryan's eyes lit up upon seeing me. She took it slowly. Her gaze scanned the resignation letter twice. She gave a disappointed, mocking smile, quitting, pretending to have some backbone. Don't forget your sister has heart disease. How much will her follow-up surgeries and recovery cost? With your measly savings, you'll be broke in no time. He Kyung smirked smugly. Yeah, Fang Yuan, don't let a moment's pride ruin your sister's life. An uninformed HR staff added. But Mr. Liu, Fang Yuan's sister, already passed away. She took leave for it recently. Liu Ryan froze instantly. Her fingertips clutching the resignation letter trembled. Looking at my calm expression, she suddenly seemed guilty. Why didn't you tell me? Seeing her evasive eyes, I suddenly recalled years ago, when Liu Ryan gently read bedtime stories to Yu at her hospital bedside, and remembered Yu's dying words, tearfully holding my hand saying, brother, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pushed you and Sister Liu together. She's a liar. The piercing pain still spread within me. I said coldly, Mr. Liu, it's just personal matters. Do I need to report them to you? He Kyung frowned, about to scold me for insolence. But Liu Ryan suddenly dragged me out of the HR office. She glanced around, then gently slipped the resignation letter back into my hand. Stepping closer, she reached out to smooth the wrinkles on my suit, rarely softening. Fang Yuan, don't be impulsive. Can we talk properly after work? At that moment, He Kyung flung open the door. Ryan, your mother-in-law called earlier about something. Take the call. Liu Ryan hurriedly turned, looking somewhat flustered, like she was fleeing. I shook my head, about to leave, but He Kyung stuck out his foot to block me. Fang Yuan, kindly clear out your office quickly. I'm moving in. The vice president's office isn't the same as a team leader's. I knew he was deliberately sidelining me, but it didn't matter. I was leaving anyway. There were indeed some things I should take. As I packed my belongings, the office door was suddenly knocked on. An auction house employee stood at the door, holding an exquisite gift box. She smiled. You must be Liu Ryan's partner. This is the watch your girlfriend bought for you at the auction recently. Please try it on. I stood stunned, wondering if this was a breakup gift. The crowd didn't hear the employee clearly, only noticing the logo on the gift box. They whispered among themselves. That's a Patek Philippe. The cheapest one costs 200,000. No wonder Fang Yuan's quitting. Hayes hooked a sugar mama. Before I could speak, the auction house employee took out the watch, asking me to extend my hand. Just as the strap was about to clasp, Fang Yuan, I know your family's poor, but I never imagined you'd steal my watch under my name. I'm Ryan's partner. Isn't that too much? He Kyung appeared out of nowhere, looking at me with disdain. The auction house employee was terrified, hurriedly apologizing. He Kyung waved it off, saying it was fine, then feigned kindness toward me. Never mind. Fang Yuan probably never saw such nice things. It's understandable he got greedy. Yeah, the company can't tolerate this kind of thieving. I knew Liu Ryan could never be so. The crowd urged He Kyung to put on the watch. Mr. Liu is so good to you. Such a doting maniac. That Fang Yuan's got some nerve, daring to impersonate you. No need to give him face. Just kick him out. I gave a self-mocking smile and reached to pick up my cardboard box to leave. Then I heard Liu Ryan's questioning voice. Fang Yuan, What's going on? The crowd rallied behind He Kong Mr. Liu. Fang Yuan's got sticky fingers. Stealing right under Mr. He's nose. That watch is worth at least $1 million. Why not call the police and arrest him? Yeah, Fang Yuan doesn't deserve to stay in our company. He Kong gave a gentle smile, deliberately showing off the watch on his wrist, saying kindly don't listen to their nonsense. Ryan, I love the gift you gave me. Liu Ryan's face darkened instantly. I lowered my eyes waiting for her to scold me for being vain, to call me a greedy gold digger. But she shouted at He Kong, take it off. Take it off. Those 3 words made everyone present show shocked expressions. No one dared to breathe. Their eyes darted between me, Liu Ryan and He Kong. They never dreamed Liu Ryan would at this moment demand her husband remove the watch. It was like slapping He Kong in the face. Even I looked at Liu Ryan twice, noticing her serious expression, not like she was joking. I couldn't quite figure it out. He Kong, who had been smiling faintly, his face turned pale and then flushed. He shot me a vicious glance, but under Liu Ryan's sharp gaze, he could only raise the hand with the watch. His other hand tugged at the clasp twice. Seeing him dawdle and refuse to take it off, Liu Ryan repeated, take the watch off, give it back to Fang Yuan, making everyone even more shocked. Could they have been misled by He Kong and misunderstood me? This time He Kong didn't hesitate. He swiftly took off the watch, tossed it into the gift box, hurriedly saving face. He kept his faint smile, saying helplessly, little princess, this was just sent by the auction house. I didn't steal his. In the past, when Liu Ryan heard little princess, should have melted into He Kong's arms, saying whatever he wanted. But this time, Liu Ryan was unusually cautious. She handed the watch to me, guiltily saying, Fang Yuan, this was specially bought for you. Sorry someone else wore it first. Sensing the crowd's piercing gazes, she snapped awake, grasping at an excuse. Liu Ryan clenched her fists, cleared her throat lightly. You've been with me for years as a loyal employee. This is your year-end gift. I gave a self-mocking smile. No matter when. In Liu Ryan's heart, other people's opinions always mattered most. I just picked up my already packed cardboard box, saying calmly, Mr. Liu, no need though, I worked under you for years. We have no personal ties. I can't accept such an expensive gift. Seeing me pick up the box to leave, Liu Ryan's expression changed drastically, probably thinking I was leaving now. She grabbed my arm in a panic. Fang Yuan, I haven't approved your resignation. What right do you have to leave? He Kong gently took her other hand, kindly reminding Ryan, I know you cherish talent, but Fang Yuan's made up his mind. We can't force him to stay. Everyone's watching. Calm down. Liu Ryan's grip on me loosened. Her eyes showed a struggle. Finally, she said softly to me, Fang Yuan, didn't we agree to talk properly after work? I frowned, seeing her like this. I truly didn't understand what she meant. I wasn't vain enough to think she still had feelings for me. Couldn't let me go. Most likely she wanted to have it both ways, to enjoy both sides. But I was awake now, no longer willing to be her spare tire. So I set down the box, took out the resignation letter again. Mr. Liu, Mr. He is right. Please sign it quickly. I'm not suited for the company. He Kong urged. Listen to Fang Yuan, Ryan. Forced melons aren't sweet. But Liu Ryan was unexpectedly enraged. Her eyes blazed with fire, as if she'd been insulted. The next second, she snatched my resignation letter and tore it to shreds, saying word by word, all right, Fang Yuan, your scheme worked. I admit you're my boyfriend. Please stay okay. The crowd was utterly shocked. After all, in their minds, I was always a lowlife, clinging to Liu Ryan like a leech. I gave a sarcastic smile. Mr. Liu, don't joke. You married Mr. He. You got engaged to Mr. He. How would Mr. He feel if you say this? He Kong's face looked truly awful. Strangely, I felt a thrill in my heart. Before, it was always me watching He Kong flaunt his power in front of me, making me choke with frustration. Now he finally tasted that feeling. Liu Ryan's expression was equally grim. She gave a hollow laugh. Fang Yuan, where could you go without me? You're over 30. What company would want you? Don't be shameless. I glanced at the office clock. This commotion had dragged on until 11 o'clock. If I kept arguing, I'd miss my flight. So I issued my final ultimatum, Mr. Liu. I wanted to part amicably, but if you forcibly stop me from resigning, you'll have to get a lawyer and go to labor arbitration. Liu Ryan's face showed disbelief. She never imagined I'd be so resolute to leave. A stern, cold voice came from behind. Who's going to labor arbitration? Liu Ryan turned and trembled, like a cat seeing a tiger, instinctively calling out respectfully, "Mom, why are you here?" Liu Ryan inherited her mother's features. They looked 70% alike. Her mother, well-maintained, in a sharp business suit, looked no older than 40, but the fine lines at her eyes and lips betrayed her true age. Hearing Liu Ryan's address, her mother's brow furrowed deeper, saying sternly, "How should you address me in the company? Do I need to remind you?" Liu Ryan immediately became meek like a quail, saying obediently, "Chairwoman Wang." He Qiang's lips curved upward, warmly supporting her mother's arm, saying dutifully, "Mom, why did you come to the company?" Her mother's expression softened, smiling. "When we spoke on the phone earlier, I sensed something was off with Ryan. I thought something happened with the vice president position. Of course I had to come check." He Kong seized the chance. "Mom, I knew you cared about me most." I knew He Kong was deliberately acting close to her mother, just to assert his dominance, blatantly telling me he was Liu Ryan's husband, the master of the company. The surrounding people ignored me. Flattering seeing is believing. Chairwoman Wang is truly decisive, leaving us in awe. My lips curled into a mocking smile. I picked up my box and walked out. "Young man, wait!" Liu Ryan's mother suddenly called out to me. Her presence was commanding, her gaze sharp, saying coldly, "You didn't give a month's notice for resignation. Even with labor arbitration, you won't get a good outcome." I interrupted her, giving a bitter smile. "Chairwoman Wang, you've misunderstood. I'm not here to extort you. I just want to resign quickly. I want nothing else." Her mother paused, glancing at Liu Ryan, who kept her head down, silent, looking guilty, as if realizing something. Her mother's lips curved into a smile, seeming very open-minded. "Why didn't you say so? Ryan just took over the company. She's bound to be a bit rough around the edges. You can leave now." Liu Ryan suddenly looked up, clutching her mother's sleeve, pleading, "Mom, don't let him go." At that, her mother's expression turned completely cold. She declared firmly, "This matter is settled. Everyone disperse. Do your jobs." Her chest heaved a few times, but she still called out to me, "Young man, come here. It'll only take a few minutes." Since my resignation was already settled, I didn't want to defy her and followed into the meeting room. Liu Ryan and He Kong came in too. Liu Ryan's face lit up. "Mom, are you?" But the next second, her mother kicked her in the knee, making her kneel with a crisp thud. I heard the sharp sound. Liu Ryan clutched her knee, her face pale, cold sweat dripping, yet she didn't dare utter a complaint. Her mother stood tall, scolding Liu Ryan. "Are you insane? You cried and begged me before. Threatened suicide to make me bring He Kong back to marry you. Now you've married He Kong as you wished, yet you're entangled with someone else. You're playing both sides." She shoved Liu Ryan, snapping, "Apologize to He Kong now. Swear you'll never do it again." I gave a self-mocking smile. So in those 7 years with me, Liu Ryan never once gave up on being with He Kong. From start to finish, I was just her way to pass the time. He Kong pretended to help Liu Ryan up, saying repeatedly, "Mom, it's fine, it's my fault for coming back too late. Ryan will come around." But Liu Ryan only trembled, her lips quivering, saying, "It's not like that, Mom. Fang Yuan was with me for 7 years." Her words were incoherent, impossible to understand. Perhaps even she didn't know why she was so persistent today. She was already rightfully with the person she longed for, yet she still wasn't satisfied. Watching this scene, my heart was unexpectedly calm. I knew her mother's performance in front of me wasn't about being a strict mother, disciplining her wayward daughter. Sure enough, the next second, her mother pulled out a checkbook, wrote a number and handed it to me. Though she was slight in stature, She looked arrogant with her head held high. Don't pretend to refuse. Take the money and stay as far from my daughter as possible. Never come back. Liu Ryan froze instantly. I silently counted the zeros on the check in million. A full 10 million. If Yu had received this money during her illness, how wonderful it would have been. But it was too late. I gently took the check. Liu Ryan's gaze dimmed inch by inch, as if she'd lost all her strength. But I only tore the check in half and placed it on the table, saying calmly, Chairwoman Wang, no need, have already bought a ticket abroad. I'm leaving today, and I'll never come back. Liu Ryan's mother showed a flash of surprise, but quickly composed herself. Nodding, she tapped on her phone. My phone chimed with a system notification. I was now officially resigned. As I walked out, everyone's gazes instinctively gathered on me. Liu Ryan's mother forcibly pulled her along. With a formulaic smile, she said, Ryan, she's been at odds with He Kong lately. If she said anything strange, I hope you all won't spread it. It's all a misunderstanding. The crowd nodded thoughtfully, showing understanding. I took the chance to go downstairs, grab my luggage, and take a cab to the airport. At the airport, there were 10 minutes left before boarding. I let out a long breath. Though I'd wasted some time, everything was still on track. Then my phone was bombarded with calls from Liu Ryan. I hung up, but she called again, seeming desperate. But I just blocked her number. The next second she texted me, where are you? Which airport? Which flight? I'm coming to find you now. Stay where you are, don't move. I'm waiting for you. I found it baffling, even a bit annoying. So I typed a message, Liu Ryan, we're done, and blocked her. After waiting a bit longer at the airport, the broadcast announced boarding. There were plenty of people on this flight. I dragged my suitcase, queuing at the back. Just as I approached the gate, a gasp rose from behind. I instinctively looked where everyone's eyes were fixed. Then a petite figure threw herself into my arms. Liu Ryan clung tightly to my waist. She seemed to have run frantically, panting heavily. Looking up at me, she smiled brightly. Fang Yuan, let's run away together. Her face was flushed from running, her hair scattered over her shoulders. Looking disheveled, in the depths of winter, she radiated cold. Her face, which I once couldn't tire of, now in my arms, felt so repulsive. I frowned and pushed her away, keeping my voice low. Liu Ryan, be rational. You have a husband, a career. Stop this. Liu Ryan's mind was clouded by adrenaline. She clung to me again, like an octopus. No, Fang Yuan, I don't want He Kong. I don't want the company, or any inheritance. Let's run away, to a place my mom can't find. The crowd, unaware, thought we were a couple facing a long-distance romance. Smiling teasingly, bro, your girlfriend can't bear to let you go. Maybe reconsider leaving. Yeah, careers matter, but love matters too. Good women like her are rare these days. Liu Ryan blushed slightly, her voice softer. Fang Yuan, do you know how scared I was when you left? I thought I'd never see you again. Her sweet words were captivating. If the old me had heard them, I might have been moved to tears. But now, I said calmly, aren't you afraid your mother, with her vast reach, will find you? What will you do then? Liu Ryan screamed like a madwoman. Don't mention her. She's a lunatic, blaming me for her own choice of a gold-digging man. If she hadn't brainwashed me that no one loves me, that they only love my money, how could I have lost you? She pulled out a black card, solemnly placing it in my hand. I wanted to give this to you long ago. Fang Yuan, I'll hold nothing back from you now. Give me one more chance to love you, okay? I knew Liu Ryan's madness today was the eruption of years of oppression from her controlling mother. After all my years of trying to heal her, I couldn't free her from her inner shadows. Couldn't make her open her heart to me. Shaking my head, I sighed. I tucked the black card into her waistband, then took out my phone to call the police. At that moment, a group of people entered the airport, led by Liu Ryan's mother and He Kong, followed by a dozen black-clad bodyguards, eyeing Liu Ryan menacingly. Liu Ryan initially clung to me, but with one glance and a beckoning finger from her mother, she trembled all over and obediently walked over. Liu Ryan's mother gave me a cold, emotionless smile. Fang Yuan Ryan, she's been spoiled by me. Don't mind her, I hope you enjoy your trip abroad. I knew she was hinting I should never return. Looking at Liu Ryan so submissive, led by He Kong with her head down, I suddenly felt she was quite pitiful. Her resistance was so feeble before her mother. Goodbye forever, Liu Ryan, I turned and passed through the gate to board the plane abroad. In my suitcase was Yuya's ashes. Looking at the city I'd lived in for over 30 years, I waved farewell, gently stroking the suitcase. I seemed to hear Yuyu say, brother, wherever you are, that's my home. After landing, H2 warmly welcomed me and found a perfect location to lay Yuyu to rest. The female CEO offered me an annual salary of 1 million. Unlike Liu Ryan, this CEO Suwanqing had climbed her way up through her own strength, step by step. With a stellar reputation in the industry, she looked at me, smiling. Fang Yuan, 3 years ago, when I saw you at a banquet, I knew one day you'd join my team. I threw myself wholeheartedly into work. The next time I saw you, Ryan, was 6 months later. She wore a sharp business suit, her lips painted red, walking out of a meeting room with Su Wanqing. Smiling, Liu Ryan gave a slight smile. Mr. Fang, you look surprised. I'm here to sign a contract. A $50 million order. Su Wanqing smiled, asking me to entertain Liu Ryan. I frowned deeply, asking Liu Ryan what she was really here for. Liu Ryan smiled faintly, pushing a contract toward me. I said impatiently, this isn't my responsibility. Liu Ryan laughed, playfully tucking a pen into my hand. Look closely. I glanced up and froze. The contract was a company transfer agreement. I shot up from my chair. Liu Ryan laughed. Her smile sent chills down my spine. She hugged me, as if overjoyed. You don't know. This past 6 months to oust my mom completely. How hard it was to play the loving couple with He Kong. Fang Yuan, am handing you the company now. Do you see my sincerity now? I only felt Liu Ryan was insane. I tore the contract to pieces, saying coldly, Liu Ryan, we have nothing to do with each other. Don't disrupt my peaceful life. Because of this, I was visibly distracted when I got home from work, until a sharp honk pierced my ears. The next second, someone pushed me to the ground. The world spun dizzyingly. Tinnitus overwhelmed everything. After a long while, my senses returned. I blinked and saw a car accident nearby. Lying in a pool of blood was a petite, black-haired woman, her features soaked in blood, but I recognized her instant. Liu Ryan. The tinnitus grew louder. I staggered over, checking her breathing. Though faint, it was still there. Luckily, a hospital was nearby. The ambulance arrived quickly. The police came to take statements. They told me the driver was drunk, veering onto the sidewalk. Liu Ryan pushed me out of the way, but was hit herself. In the hospital, Liu Ryan's lips were pale, her head wrapped in thick bandages. The doctor said she was lucky. Just a mild concussion and exhaustion. She'd recover with some rest. Out of humanitarian duty, I took leave to care for Liu Ryan until she woke. Honestly, she saved my life. No one could remain unmoved by her actions. But back then, to chase He Kong, she did so much. Finally got together with him. Why go through all this trouble to find me again? As I pondered, her eyelashes fluttered. She woke, and before I could speak, she grabbed my hand. Fang Yuan, if divorced He Kong, it just hasn't hit the news yet. Don't avoid me. Her emotions surged too strongly, causing her head to throb. She shut her eyes tightly, but her hands still gripped mine, as if afraid I'd run off. I found it laughable, asking her, Liu Ryan, do you treat marriage like a game? I placed her hands back under the blanket. In her panicked expression, I explained, I'm getting the doctor to check on you. She finally relaxed, looking at me with pitiful puppy-like eyes. But I didn't get the doctor. I left the room and contacted He Kong. The moment he picked up, I heard his gritted teeth. Fang Yuan, are you calling to gloat? Don't think just because Ryan is drawn to your playing hard to get, you can become the Liu family's golden son-in-law. You're dreaming. How Ironish thought everyone was like him, chasing the title of a rich family's son-in-law. I only said Liu Ryan was in a car accident. Come take her away. Then I got the doctor. The doctor told me Liu Ryan was recovering well. She could be discharged in 2 days. Liu Ryan pouted, somewhat unhappy once and better. Fang Yuan, will you stop taking care of me? You're finally being nice to me like before. I don't want to leave the hospital. I should let the car paralyze me. Hearing her deranged words, I found them absurd. She used to throw little tantrums. But at 30, how could she still be so childish? I handed her a peeled orange. Don't jinx yourself. If you're paralyzed, your mom won't let me off. She seemed disappointed, fiddling with the orange peel. Soaking, she set the orange on the table. I didn't react. Just picked up my briefcase, saying coldly, He Kyung's coming to pick you up tonight. I'm going to work. I turned to leave, hearing Liu Ryan angrily shout my name, cursing me for being heartless. He Kyung was quick to act. That evening I handed over to him at the hospital. But as soon as I entered the room, he punched me, his eyes bloodshot. Fang Yuan, nothing good happens when you're near Ryan. Why do you keep lingering like a ghost? Seeing Liu Ryan nervously get out of bed to stand by my side, then looking at He Kyung's outraged face, my lips curled into a mocking smile, acting out a soap opera for me. Then I'll play the devoted lover. A story of a broken mirror made whole is nice, but I don't want to be the backup guy. I kicked He Kyung in the stomach, threw Liu Ryan's medical file at him, saying coldly, He Kyung, manage your wife yourself. I thought once He Kyung took Liu Ryan back, it wouldn't take long for her interest in me to fade. Once she got used to my absence, she'd stop seeking me. But she camped out daily under my company building, with He Kyung buying her hot coffee to warm her hands, turning into a bizarre spectacle. Today was even more absurd. A Lincoln was parked downstairs. Liu Ryan's mother had come, yet Liu Ryan stubbornly refused to leave, drawing a crowd of onlookers. Suwanching, the CEO, saw this, chuckling and telling me to handle it. To avoid tarnishing the company's image, I went downstairs silently and approached Liu Ryan. The wind was biting. Liu Ryan shoved her mother aside, rubbing her cold fingers, asking joyfully, Fang Yuan, have you forgiven me? I only said Chairwoman Wang is here. Go back with her. Liu Ryan's face fell instantly. Her mother's dark eyes were fathomless, her tone flat but threatening. Liu Ryan, did you really think I'd be toppled so easily? If you don't want the company, stay here. I'll find someone else to run it. He Kyung panicked instantly, tugging Liu Ryan's sleeve, pleading, Ryan, look, it's been long enough, let's go back. Fang Yuan isn't worth this. Liu Ryan's eyes flickered with hesitation, glancing at me. She said defiantly, if you won't have me, I don't want any inheritance. I just want to be with Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan isn't like my biological father. Whether I'm poor or rich, he won't despise me. Those words struck her mother's sore spot. Back then, her mother misjudged a man, married a gold digger, who later cheated and poisoned the Liu family's mother and daughter, nearly killing them. For the first time I saw the usually poised and elegant mother snarling. She sneered, fine. Don't regret it. He Kyung, come with me. Don't mind her. He Kyung hesitated, but followed her mother. I looked at Liu Ryan left alone, feeling a headache coming on. Her mother was true to her word, freezing all of Liu Ryan's bank cards. Liu Ryan had no choice but to sell her luxury goods. Since her English wasn't very good, she could only take basic labor jobs, washing dishes, her hands growing frostbitten and increasingly stiff. I tried persuading her repeatedly, but she said I no longer loved her, urging her to return to China. She misunderstood, thinking otherwise. Smiling sweetly, I know you're looking out for me. It's okay, I don't find it hard. You'll keep fighting. My mom has only me. She'll give in eventually. Then you and I can return to China together. I'll transfer all my assets to you. How's that? I had to admit she was delusional. The old me would have indulged her like a child. Now I saw how selfish and terrifying this overgrown infant was. At this point, I'd done my duty. I stopped concerning myself with Liu Ryan's life, focusing on my work. Due to my outstanding performance, Suwanching promoted me to vice president. With a 5 million annual salary, the company showered me with congratulations. On the day of my promotion, Liu Ryan waited for me downstairs. She cautiously gave me a tie, saying carefully, "Fang Yuan, happy birthday. I bought this with a month's wages. Try it on." I took it gently but refused, then turned and grabbed a passing colleague, asking this tie $50 want it. The colleague laughed. "That brand's not cheap. You're really selling," I nodded. And we exchanged money for the tie. Liu Ryan watching this turned pale. "How could you?" I sneered. "Liu Ryan, isn't this how you treated me for 7 years? Do you think we could ever have a future?" Liu Ryan looked at me, tears streaming, and ran off. The next day I heard from her workplace that she'd returned to China soon after news of her divorce broke in China. But she never had another scandal, becoming a respected female CEO in the industry, someone everyone wanted to curry favor with. And our lives gradually became parallel lines never to cross again.